Hey circuit riders, welcome to Disneyland. Now, I know you might be saying to yourself, oh no, another YouTube video of people going to Disney. Do we really need this? Well, I was right there with you. I really debated whether to make this into a video for our channel or just keep it as a home movie for ourselves, because I like to make sure that I'm giving you useful information about the places that we go and about our RV life, and I really didn't know anything about Disneyland. Love Disney World, never been to Disneyland. But Jason kept encouraging me to do the video anyway because he knows that once I get my hands on something, I really dive in deep, and he thought some of you would be interested in it.
It'd be another one of your 1,000+ movies.
And then I said,
No, but I don't have any tips for Disneyland. Nobody wants to watch you riding rides.
but I have to admit that once we got done with the whole day, I realized that I actually had learned quite a bit about how to navigate Disneyland and how it's such a different experience than Disney World. So I hope this is helpful for you if you're planning your first visit to Disneyland and you just want kind of an overview and some tips to get you started. So these tips are probably going to be especially helpful for you if you're already a little familiar with Disney World, because I'm assuming that you already kind of know how the Disney parks work. But if you're a complete newbie, I really want to encourage you to check out this website, undercovertourist.com. This is not an ad and there's no sponsorship going on here. I just discovered this site years ago when I was first learning about Disney, and it is such a gold mine. You can buy discounted multi-day tickets here. They have pre-made park plans that will help guide you through your day so you know which things to do when. But the best feature is their crowd calendar. The calendar codes each park by green, yellow, or red to show how heavy the crowds are expected to be on any given day. I always consult this calendar before I plan a Disney day, and I only choose green or yellow days. I would never go on a red day. I find this calendar to be really accurate, and the less people that are in the park, the more pleasant your day is going to be for your whole family. And this site not only covers Disneyland, but all of the major theme parks in Los Angeles and Orlando. The second great resource I want you to dive into if you're planning a trip to Disney are the Disney apps themselves. Disney World and Disneyland have separate apps, but they work pretty much the same. You'll be able to see the park maps, ride wait times, book the lightning lane times, order food, buy souvenirs, all right through your app. So play around with it and get familiar with it before you get to the park so that you're comfortable using it. And the third thing I want you to know before you go to Disneyland is that it is way smaller than Disney World. In fact, it is 50 times smaller. Disneyland is basically 2 amusement parks and 1 shopping area, all joined by a common courtyard area. It is super easy to get around and very walkable. So those are my very quick tips on getting started at Disneyland, and maybe that's all you're here for. But if you want to follow us through our day and get some more tips along the way, we would love for you to come along. Okay, you all know how big a fan I am of Disney World. I've been there several times in Orlando. This is the very first time I've ever been to Disneyland in Anaheim, California. I'm so excited. We've got a park hopper ticket, so we're going to do both parks today, California Adventure and Disneyland Park. Our campground is about 1.5 to 2 hours away from here, so we wanted to get it all done in one day. So here we go.
Everywhere!
Disneyland was the first park that Walt Disney built, and it opened in 1955. And as we already talked about, it's much smaller than Walt Disney World, which was built in 1971, 16 years later. So the Disneyland Park basically is the same as Magic Kingdom Park at Disney World. It has many of the same rides, not all the same, like we're going to talk about in a little bit, but it has very much the same feel, and it's very Mickey Mouse and character centered. And then California Adventure Park, which is on the other side of Disneyland, is more like Hollywood Studios is at Walt Disney World. It's very movie themed. Pixar and Marvel movies are over there, and there's much more adult rides over there. So two nice areas of Disneyland that can kind of cater to different kinds of people. And because Disneyland is so much smaller, it's more consolidated, so the areas are not as specialized in their decor and theme. You're kind of getting a mix of everything, whereas at Walt Disney World, you've got very specific themes and characters that go with different sections. So I kind of liked how Disneyland, you could kind of get a little taste of everything in one smaller space.
Since we've been to Disney World so many times, I really wanted to focus today on riding rides that are not at Disney World. So we've just been taking it easy and strolling around the park. We rode things like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and the Indiana Jones ride and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So those are really fun, and I know I can't get those in Florida. Found a trading board and I got a new pin. It says Disneyland.
That way?
We're just walking through the French Quarter of Disneyland and noticed this Mardi Gras mask, and it turns out that today is Mardi Gras. I didn't even realize that until I saw these directions. Last year on Mardi Gras, we were actually right in New Orleans. This is such a nice memory for us of that day. We're not paddling, just riding.
All right, welcome
You're going into that.
Famous Davy Crockett Explorer Canoe. All right, guys. Here on the canoes, we have 3 rules. Rule number 1, always keep paddling. Yeah, believe it or not, you guys are our motor. You don't row, we don't go. You're going to the right.
You can do it. You just choose not to.
The Galaxy's Edge Star Wars section at Disneyland Park is virtually the same as the one at Disney World Hollywood Studios. It's laid out slightly differently, but the rides are the same, and the look of it is all the same. So we didn't ride any of the rides there this time since we've already done that section at Disney World. But if it's your first time at Disneyland and you really want to do Star Wars, for the best chance of getting on the Rise of the Resistance ride, check your Disneyland app and see if they're doing a virtual queue or if you can buy a lightning lane option. They change it up depending on the crowds and the time of the year. So make sure you check your app and see how to get the best way to get on those rides.
And now it's about 1:45, and so we're going to use our park hopper and hop over to California Adventure Park. So California Adventure is right across the courtyard from Disneyland Park. It's not like at Disney World where you have to get on the transportation and drive quite a ways to get to the other parks. Here's Disneyland Park, and California Adventure is right across the way.
One unique thing that California Adventure Park has that is not at Walt Disney World is the new Avengers Campus. Now, this is highlighting all of the Marvel movies and characters, but there's a kind of interesting story here. So, when the Marvel comic books first came out, there was some kind of a contract in place that the comic books made with theme parks that they could only use Marvel characters west of the Mississippi. So that means that Florida is not allowed to use those trademarked names and characters in their theme parks. Only the West Coast is. So that's why we find Avengers Campus at Disneyland and not at Disney World. And there's some really cool rides here that are unique to Disneyland. We rode the Spider-Man Web Slingers ride, which was really cool, kind of a 3D, shoot 'em up ride. And then we didn't get to go on the Guardians of the Galaxy ride, but that has taken over the old Tower of Terror ride that used to be at Hollywood Studios. And I'm sure it's very cool, but the wait line was so long that day that we just didn't get a chance to go on it.
So we're gonna freeze. Here we go. Whether you're sitting down or standing up, let's go. I want to see some crazy arms and crazy legs. I want to see your own interpretation of movements. As long as you're having fun, that's what it's about. Hey, move around. Freeze.
So there's a couple different ways to move through the lines faster here at Disneyland. One is a single rider line, which I am in now for the Incredicoaster. Lots of amusement parks have this. If you want to ride by yourself and you don't need to be with your party, you can get in the single rider line. They just kind of put one person on there at a time. You can't ride with your party, but it's a lot faster. And then another thing that Disneyland has just instituted is called Disney Genie, and there's some confusion about it because there's like regular lightning lane and then there's Genie Plus, but there's a few different ways to do it, but basically you're paying to jump the line. So some rides have a single lightning lane that you can buy by itself without a Genie Plus membership. And I just bought 2 lightning lanes for Radiator Springs, which is the new Cars ride here at Disneyland. I thought it was worth, it's a 100-minute wait right now, and I thought $20 for both of us is worth not standing in line for over an hour and a half. So we'll see how that works later. Jason's coming in now. That was incredible. It's the Incredicoaster based on the Incredibles movie. That is the best roller coaster at any Disney park that I've been to. So smooth, nice loops, really good. So the line was 50 minutes long, and with the single rider line, we got in 25 minutes. Well worth it. The Goofy Sky School has a single rider line. It was 25-minute wait, and we walked right on. No wait at all.
That's fast and fun.
I also love Disney's new mobile ordering system for food. I could look at all the restaurants and menus online and pick what I wanted, order it on my phone and pay for it, and then I just pushed a button when I got to the restaurant, they prepared it, and I went to the window and picked it up super fast. The Cars Land at Disneyland is so cute, especially since we've been driving Route 66 for the past few months through the Southwest. Remember when we went and visited the Wigwam Motel on Route 66? That's what the Cozy Cone Motel is based on in the cartoon Cars movie. This is so cute. Oh, I see each cone has a little snack stand. Clever. So this is the ride that I bought the Lightning Lane for 10 bucks, and they gave us an hour window when we needed to be here. So let's go see how it works. So fun. It had a nice meandering through the Cars movie, and then a really fast racetrack at the end where you were racing against another car.
Fun story as it went along too.
That was a good ride. Now, was it worth paying 20 bucks to jump the line? Well, by the time we got over here, there they go. The wait time was 75 minutes, and we were on the ride in 10 minutes with our Lightning Pass. So I would say worth it for us.
Especially do it once during a day.
Yeah.
That's the only time we did it.
But this ride also does have a single rider line, so if you're willing to wait maybe, I don't know what it would be, 30 or 40 minutes and not ride with your party, that's an option too. So it's just up to you, not necessary, but a nice little perk if you want to do it for a ride or two. I think it's a good option. Thanks, Walt. Another new feature that I just found out at World of Disney store in downtown Disney is you can do mobile checkout. So I'm going to get this t-shirt because I wanted something that says Disneyland on it. Hold it up a little bit. So I only have one thing, and there's this huge checkout line. So I just go to the mobile checkout QR code, and I opened up my Disneyland app. I scanned it, and then I paid with my credit card that's in the app already. And now I go to the mobile checkout stand. They're going to give me a bag and check my code to prove that I bought this, and I'm out of here.
It's his birthday! Oh, happy birthday!
So we're sitting here waiting for the Disney Railroad. We're going to just take a circuit around since we're all done with rides and it's only 7 o'clock. And I thought we'd take this opportunity to talk a little bit about some tips and our thoughts about Disneyland today. So the first thing I want to say is we parked in the Toy Story parking lot because I read that that was the only lot you could park in if you were an oversized vehicle, which a dually, I thought, qualified as an oversized. So we got to the Toy Story parking lot this morning around 9 o'clock. The park's open at 8. We got here at 9. And she said, no, you're not oversized. You can just pull right in. It costs us $30 to park. The nice thing about the Toy Story lot is they will shuttle you to the front gate, and also they do the security check at the parking lot. So you're all checked in before you get on the shuttle, and when you get off at the main gate, you can walk right in. You don't have to stand in that big security line. So that's my main tip for you. And we already talked about the lightning lanes. If you want to pay for a couple extra rides, maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not to you. It depends on how long you want to stand in line.
And we did the park hopper today, which for just a couple of you, that we plenty of time for the couple things we wanted to do in the two parks together. It was a good way to spend a full day. Since we got here fairly early, we're staying close to the end.
And it's cheaper than buying 2 single-day tickets. And since we're not trying to ride every single ride, and we don't have little kids with us and all that stuff, we can move through fairly quickly. So we were done at Disneyland Park around 1:30, and then we came over to California Adventure, and like I said, we rode till 7.
It's been a pretty leisurely day too. I haven't felt
nice.
like it was our job today to
We sat down and had dinner.
Yeah,
it was very leisurely.
Well, thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed wandering around Disneyland with us and discovering it with us for the first time. And if you're planning on a trip to Disneyland, you've never been there before, hopefully you got some good tips here. So we will see you next time, and thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great week. Bye, guys. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content from Circuit Ridin' RV.